Oh man, we just watched the reveal of the new operation for Rainbow Six Siege, Operation Twin Shells. Um, we got a lot to talk about. Um, Today, let's go ahead and start the episode. So, welcome to Siege365. This is where we talk about the past, the present, and the future of Rainbow Six Siege. You can turn this volume down a little bit. So this regular podcast aims to cover Siege all year long on a regular basis to create excitement, express gratitude, and share nostalgia. Siege365 documents the changes made in-game from a player perspective, while reporting on development and events made by fans for fans. So, with that said, we just saw the reveal of Operation Twin Shells, and it's a spicy season. Where do we even start? Let's recap on where we were before. So, before let's see. If you're on audio, I've got pulled up here a website. It's Rainbow Six's news outlet, essentially. So, last season, we talked about season 9, or year 9, season 2.3, the designer notes. They since then have come up with the patch notes where they announced the changes to Azami, Buck, Gridlock, Echo, Ella, Malusi, Wamai. We talked about that last episode. You can kind of read up on that later. A couple of things that I missed. TK. If you kill your teammates now, players no longer get kicked from a match after excessive killing or damaging too many allies. That's an interesting choice. They still have reverse friendly fire activated. Team kills and ally damage will still count towards penalties and reputation. I don't know how I feel about that. Because if you have a disruptive player who's trolling, they are going to shoot all your gadgets, and they should have like reverse friendly fire for gadgets too, in my opinion. But then how do you, if you're not getting kicked from the game, that means you can play around and you don't have to worry about destroying your team's gadgets. So there's no real way of balancing that. So that's it. That's an interesting choice that they did that. I feel like if someone's TKing over and over and over and over again, like reverse friendly fire, get them out of the game. I don't know. Maybe it's hard. It's really hard thing to balance. Because then your enemy team mates or your current teammates, you're down a man, right? I don't know. We'll see how this plays out, but that is definitely interesting. Deactivation of reputation, standing pop up. Okay, whatever. Who cares about that? We're here for Velvet Shell. Before we talk about Velvet Shell, however, there is the player protection update that they talked about. One of the things that's scary, the current season, Operation New Blood, I think we talked about, is probably the worst season of Siege to date, and it just came after a really good season with Deimos. So Deimos' season, I forget what it's called, but yeah, the New Blood season with the recruits that didn't have content has tons of hackers. Every game I play, I did some math, and I think it was like 43% of games at like champ level, or essentially like the cheater to champ level is 43%. So I calculated about 3,000 to 4,000 people in August were cheaters, and about 8,000 people were champs. And if you look at this graph from June, so just right before August, it's showing the minimum amount of people that they're banning. It's like, what is that? Is that 5,500? 5,500 people are getting banned on BattleEye. And you've got 8,000 people, the minimum, banned for April, for BattleEye plus data bans. There's only 8,000 champs, and you're banning 7,500 people to 8,000 people in June. So that's That's a problem. That's a huge problem with this game at the moment. They have a message for the anti-cheat. They're talking about anti-toxicity. This is a big problem in the game. Um, if you look at, um, I don't like to bring up other players and stuff, but some of the best players in the world right now aren't champ. They are Diamond 4. They are, I'll name a few who are content creators who are some of the best players in the world. Shaiko, for example, he hasn't hit champ this season because there's so many cheaters. He's just probably not playing the game, not playing ranked. Bolo at this point in time is Diamond 4. Crazy to think of. One of the best players in the world. Skittles. I looked up Skittles ranked the other day, and he's Emerald. And he's usually a Diamond and Champ player. One of the best players in the world. Pingu hit champ. I think Macy J hit champ. And there was one other like major person that I saw that hit champion. But for example, Shaiko was top 20 in the world during Deadly Omen, Deimos this season. And he is like 20,000 now on the leaderboard. You have to go 230 pages to get to Shaiko's account this season because how bad it is. So anyway, I digress. I'm beating a dead horse, but this it's a huge problem at high elo. Low elo probably less so, but so that's a big issue. When they talked about the new season, they that's the first thing they addressed and acknowledged, which is good. So I'm happy about that. The roadmap they did update, which is this podcast covers pretty heavily. They confirmed shooting range access during matchmaking. They confirmed binary hardening, so anti-cheat. That's going to be getting pushed forward, which is great. So that's going to come for sure. The QB system expansion, anti-cheat, is delayed. So that's fun, right? But Siege Cup is coming forward, and they're going to ban people and entire teams who cheat and play Siege Cup. They're just getting banned across the board. That's only on PC and only on beta, but it'll roll out next season 4 for everybody else. They're going to update Solus, Dokkaebi, and Nook. That's going to be a multi-part series. So Solus, this is kind of part of what's it called? The reveal of Twin Shells. The after action reports, Twin Shells. Badges and Career, I thought Badges and Career, they said that's going to actually come forward. That might be the after action report. Okay. So you get a full design. That's cool. I'm excited for this after action report too. Knock is going to... She can literally stand under a camera indefinitely forever and ever and ever. As long as she's not moving, her gadget's keeping her cloaked, which is interesting. So it creates people to be more patient. Dokkaebi is going to be less frustrating overall, so she doesn't just get 2 logic bombs from the get-go. She recharges just like a Legion. And then Solus is kind of interesting. We can talk about a little bit of that later, but Solus... her vision for her gadgets is narrowed, and then there's a global scan option that's been tweaked a little bit, which I still don't understand. So that's going to be going forward. They delayed Badges and Career. They are coming out with AI playlist for new players, and then Target Drill has been removed. So, because everyone's doing Endless, no one's doing Target Drill. I honestly don't even know what Target Drill is. I do shooting range and Endless. So, no surprises there. So, I think this is the first. Yeah, that's the first. All right. So, with that said, the new operator is Scopos. And Scopos is a character which controls 2 robots, And the reason she controls two robots from the field, she's kind of like an Oracle character. She doesn't actually play in the field and play in the game, but she has two robots that she controls, and the what's I gonna say? A couple of cool things. She was a sniper. She was injured in combat, and she's in a wheelchair now. But the main thing that I wanted to talk about, so they have Solus, Nock, and Dokkaebi. And the new characters. Oh, drone boost, Siege Cup, and versus AI. Okay, so one elephant in the room that I want to talk about is Siege's use of diversity and inclusion. So diversity and inclusion is very important. However, sometimes it can feel very corporate and forced on people. I love diversity and inclusion, but the way they rolled this out and revealed it made it seem like this character Scopus was going to be in the field in the game, and it wasn't very realistic for a lot of people who were watching the game or watching the reveals. So in the game, there are stairs. There's running. There's a lot of fast-paced, action-based gameplay. The character that they announced when they announced it. Sorry, I'm just trying to hide this. There we go. He's in a wheelchair. And so a lot of people thought that you're going to have to fight or shoot a person in a wheelchair. And that's not the case whatsoever. You're fighting these robots. They did not like this key art that you see here. This artwork makes it seem like for a lot of people, she's going to be in the foreground and not in the background. They put the robots in the background, which are going to actually be the characters that you play in the most part. And then she is the character that's controlling them, but it's you as a player controlling her who's controlling the robots. And so in my opinion, I felt like she should be on the side. I get it that she's the new character and it's the key artwork and everything, but I think she should be on the side, or the robot should have a bigger presence in the art style. So it's like they're the main people you're going to be fighting. This artwork that they have does not articulate the gameplay very well. And you know, there's a heavy level of like political correctiveness, like being politically correct with things. But there's also like reality where like you don't want a person in a wheelchair fighting in an action-paced environment with guns and stuff. Like that's just, you know. But my big thing that I want to say about this podcast is that the rollout of this operator was done in a poor way. They did not do enough world building. They did not do enough storytelling. They did not build a story and a case and all this stuff to merit the reveal of showing they showed a character in a wheelchair and they said this is the new character of Rainbow Six Siege, and everybody goes, you're gonna have us shoot a person in a wheelchair? That's a terrible thing. Like, that's a terrible idea. What are you doing? And so I think it's important to have diversity and inclusion, but I think you have to execute it well, and you weave your diversity and inclusion into your exposition, into your gameplay, into your storytelling, in your world building. You weave it in your narration. You weave that into your exposition when you're telling a story, whether it's a book or a movie or a game or anything. And they didn't do that. They essentially like gave you a flyer. And they're like, this is a new character. Read up on it, you know. And I get that it's a live service video game, but they did not do any storytelling whatsoever before they revealed the character, and a lot of people criticized the new character, unjustifiably so. A lot of people were not patient to see the gameplay, to see the reveal, and they started making assumptions and before the game came out, and they're like, whoa, what's going on? So that's from a player perspective. That is as respectfully as possible to all different types of people of all types of different abilities. That they fumbled this for a lot of people, unfortunately. And that's going to be kind of where I want to end this episode. It's a spicier episode for sure for most people. But the new character is going to be good. They also announced drone boost, so you can speed up your drone, Siege Cup versus AI, bunch of other cool stuff. So looking forward to that. Thanks for watching, everybody. This has been Siege365, where we talk about the past, present, and future of Rainbow Six Siege, right? So we're the regular podcast that covers Siege all year long on a regular basis to create excitement, express gratitude, and share nostalgia. Siege365 documents the changes made in game from a player perspective while reporting on development and events made by fans for fans. Thanks. Hey guys, so I did find some artwork that I think was a good fit. So if you want to look at, if you're on audio, I've got pulled up the original Star Wars painting, like artwork, and this is key art that they made, and it shows the main characters, Luke and Leia, up front and center, and then it shows Darth Vader in the back. And I think that's going to be what I was kind of talking about with the art style and how it's articulated to the fan base. I think this would be a better example than the where she's in the background and then these characters could be the twin shells. They're actually twins in the movie, but for example, you'd put Solus here, or not Solus, excuse me, you'd put Scopus here as Darth Vader, and then you would have I forget their names, but the twin shells here up front and center, and those are the main characters they talk about. And this is like I guess it kind of makes them seem like a villain, but I mean Darth Vader is the villain, but versus the artwork which I was showing earlier, like that. So on this one, she's front and center, so it makes it seem like she's the main character that you control, and then the other two are on the left and right side as like good and bad, I guess, or bad and evil, or you know how you play off of the angel and the devil on the left and right side. That's what that's the feeling that it gives. And then it has her as the main character that's like the person that's in charge and controlling everything, making the decisions, which this makes sense, right? But I think a better fit would be the Star Wars approach, where you have somebody on the side and then the main characters that are in control front and center. Like I'd put the robots up front and then her in the back. Keep it simple. But anyway, I'm not an artist, so I can't really speak to any of this personally, but that's kind of what I was trying to articulate. And then it gets political and it gets into a bunch of other things. So hopefully that makes sense from a player perspective and from like an artist and just a person who's like critiquing art. That's what I can see. Anyway, thanks for watching. Have a good one.